National Live Talk Show. Live Talk Show. I've got choice and go for nothing less. Sensation for excellence. Sensation for excellence.
RT10, Station for Excellence.
On the news tonight, Abuja High Court nullifies Godwin Emefiele's arrest, orders his release. Lagos State government appoints 7 permanent secretaries to run 6 primary healthcare districts across the metropolis. Plus, entertainment and sports tidbits. Good evening. It's a pleasure you've joined us for the 7 o'clock news. I am Ntami Egbe. The High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has nullified the warrants of arrest, detention and interrogation of the suspended governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, by the Department of State Services. Justice Bello Kawu gave the verdict in a matter filed by the counsel to Godwin Emefiele as plaintiff and 4 others as defendants. Emefiele, through his counsel, Peter Agban, has asked the court to set aside, quash, invalidate and nullify the arrest and detention of the plaintiff applicants for being illegal and nullify in view of the subsisting judgment of Justice Hassan delivered on 29 December 2022. Justice Bello Kawu granted an order setting aside, voiding, quashing, invalidating and nullifying any warrant of arrest obtained or procured by the respondents, especially the DSS for the arrest, detention and interrogation of Emefiele in connection with the allegations of terrorism financing, fraudulent practices, money laundering, round-tripping, threat to national security before any court since the order of the court in December 2022. The court thereafter ordered the release of the suspended governor by the CBN in December 2022. The court thereafter ordered the release of the suspended governor by the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, and stopped the DSS and the other defendants from further interfering with Emefiele's personal liberty and freedom of movement. Let's join hands to build a nation that brings succor to the vulnerable and disadvantaged members of the society. This is the appeal of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, during her first engagement with wives of state governors on the implementation of her pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative. State House correspondent Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
It is another closed-door meeting, this time between the First Lady and wives of state governors identified as critical stakeholders in the national implementation of our pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative. Deliberations behind these closed doors, though varied, centered on how to effectively implement the Renewed Hope Initiative as a national program, which of course recognizes the peculiarities of each state and region. And with our guest in tow, it was a happy First Lady that emerged from the meeting, satisfied in the knowledge that the pet project will have desired impact on vulnerable Nigerians.
We really welcomed the initiative. So we are just praying that when they go back to their various states, their husbands should be able to give us support. Work has started, and we want to, jointly build Nigeria together. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and this is not party issue now. We have to come together, reach out to the vulnerable amongst us.
While paperwork on the initiative are already going through official round at the CAC, Other organs of the NGO are also expected to take firm roots in state and local government areas with coordinators.
They are going to inaugurate the wives of chairmen to be coordinators at the local government, RHI coordinators. So they are going to go home and do that. And so that when work starts, we know the grassroots is very, very important. And so that work can get to the grassroots quickly.
As one of the focal areas of the initiative, intervention in education has already been lined up.
So we are ready to also give scholarships. So they are going to get the best student from each state that are indigent and that got a Nigerian university admission. So we'll be able to give a 4-year scholarship.
On their part, the wives of the governors are happy to work with the First Lady on implementing the Renewed Hope initiative in their respective states, while also running their own pet projects.
We listen to the mission of the Renewed Hope initiative. We listen to all what we're planning to achieve. And so now we're very geared up to go back and get all the things that we've highlighted done.
As the national coordinator of the initiative, the First Lady and our Vice National Coordinator, Nana Kashim Shetima, are expected to meet heads of each zones periodically for progress reports. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In furtherance of commitment to ensure easy access to affordable and accessible healthcare delivery in Lagos, the Lagos State Government has appointed 7 permanent secretaries in Lagos. The Lagos State Government has appointed 7 permanent secretaries in the medical cadre to run an already established 6 primary healthcare districts across the metropolis. Musa Toliat reports that the move by the government is an integral part of the healthcare sector reforms in Lagos. The reports.
The 13 targets attached to the Sustainable Development Goal number 3 on good health and well-being are focused on achieving quality and essential universal health care by 2030. The appointment of 7 permanent secretaries in medical cadre by the Lagos State Government is to ensure that the already established 6 primary health care districts function optimally in line with the attainment of United Nations SDG 3. The 7th permanent secretary will be in charge of the Lagos State Health Management Agency.
Your role today at this appointment is intended to strengthen and improve not just the governance structure, just to ensure that there's complete health coverage in that sector, and the citizens who will be the beneficiaries must be able to attest to this laudable decision. If we have all of these health facilities all dotted around the state, the least we can do is to ensure that we staff them with the highest level of professional, competent practitioners that can ensure, supervise, and govern and give access of universal health coverage.
4 other permanent secretaries sworn in have already been deployed to other ministries, departments, and agencies of government.
This reform is innovative vision to approve the creation of primary healthcare districts across the state with the intention not to leave anyone behind, as promised in the AIDS Plus agenda of this administration.
It is the first time a subnational will be appointing 7 permanent secretaries in health sector in any part of the country. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Parties in the petition filed by the Allied People's Movement challenging the eligibility of President Bola Tinubu to participate in the 2023 presidential election have adopted their final written addresses. Olabode Arewa reports.
APM is the third of the 3 consolidated petitions filed before the Presidential Election Petition Court sitting in Abuja. In the petition, the APM and its presidential candidate, Chichi Ojei, are challenging what they allegedly termed as double nomination of the running mate of the APC's presidential candidate, President Bola Tinubu. Specifically, APM alleged that President Tinubu purportedly flouted Section 131 and 142 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as well as Section 35 of the Electoral Act, when President Tinubu nominated Kabiru Masari as a placeholder before later substituting Masari's name with that of Vice President Kashim Shettima. The petitioners also averred that APC's alleged double nomination having taken place beyond the INEC timetable, President Tinubu's nomination was purportedly invalid. But in their preliminary objections, INEC, the APC, President Bola Tinubu, Vice President Kashim Shettima, and Kabir Masari said the APM's arguments were without merit, particularly since the Supreme Court had decided in its May 26, 2023 judgment that President Bola Tinubu was validly nominated and is eligible to contest in the election. After adopting their final written addresses, the court adjourned to a later date to deliver judgment on the APM's petition. Parties in the petitions of the PDP and Labour Party are yet to adopt their final written addresses. Olaboderewa, NTA News.
We'll go on a short break. More reports afterwards. Please stay tuned.
TRS Promotions, in collaboration with Ratau Lagos State Council and Lagos State Sports Commission, present.
I think every time you get a boss, you have to play draft. Every time you and Sadiq, now soon are going to disturb me for backyard. You don't reach now. The first Lagos State International Draft Competition game don't start.
The first prize is 3 million naira. The second prize 2 million naira, and the third prize is 1 million naira.
No shout too much. Make neighbor no hear. You better run now. Go take your own ticket now. Go buy your own now. Now just 3,000 naira.
To purchase your ticket, go to www.windraftgame.com or directly from all local government areas in Lagos State, Aria Ticket, and many other ticket agencies. TRS, join the fun.
It is here again.
Sweet joy, happiness, now your cup of tea, everything.
The World Breastfeeding Week is an annual event celebrated globally from the 1st to 7th August, aimed at creating awareness of the benefits of breastfeeding to both mother and child. This year's theme, which is supporting working mothers that are breastfeeding, is a special desire to pay attention to working breastfeeding mothers. NTA Lagos Channel 10 will be hosting a baby show to commemorate this event. Mothers with babies from 0 to 6 months who are exclusively breastfeeding their babies, especially watching mothers, are invited to participate in this contest. Highlights of the show includes screening of contestants, baby parade, health talk, fashion dancer session, drama, games, and so much more. Date, Thursday, 3rd August 2023. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, NTA Lagos Channel 10, Federation Yaba. The winner of the baby show will be crowned NTA Lagos Channel 10 Baby of the Year. To participate, forms are available at the Programs and Marketing Department of NTA Lagos Channel 10 Federation Yaba. Date of event again is Thursday, 3rd August 2023. Time, 10 a.m. Venue, NTA Lagos Channel 10 Federation Yaba. For inquiries, please call in Gem 0006 086 5487. Jimo 003 830 1667. Stanley 006 6200 136. Lots of prizes will be won by contestants. There will be gifts for every mother and child present. Breastfeeding is not a choice, it's easy responsibility.
You're welcome back. Data from the World Health Organization shows that cervical cancer is the second most common after breast cancer in Nigeria, with 12,000 cases diagnosed annually as well as 3,000 deaths, which translates to 33 new cases and 22 deaths daily. Worried about the alarming figures, the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, NIMR, and other partners are training young women on how to end the scourge through the 4 Girls and Women initiative. Hingino John Adams tells us more.
It is a cancer that affects their gender, and after a month's innovation boot camp powered by NIMR and its partners, these young ladies have reeled out brilliant ideas of how they intend to save vulnerable women by ending cervical cancer in Nigeria.
We have over 100 volunteers across Nigeria, which make our work sustainable.
As the 4th most common cancer among women globally, statistics show that 1 life is lost every 2 minutes from cervical cancer. This is worrisome, and experts here are unanimous that the narrative must change.
This is a disease that is almost 100% preventable. Once we vaccinate girls who are ages 9 to 15 and screen women who are between 30 to 65 years of age, you can eradicate cervical cancer. Why are women dying?
We have an effective vaccine, has very few side effects. It's safe. It's reliable.
Our goal is to ensure that girls and women in Nigeria will lead the way so that we collectively end cervical cancer.
We as advocates are engaging these relevant stakeholders to ensure that we do more for cancer patients.
With the initiative by NIMA and others, there are expectations that the global target to eradicate cervical cancer by 2030 may be achieved. In Lagos, Hinginu, John Adams.
Almost half of humanity live in countries that spend more on debt interest payments than on education or health. A situation UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says is not just more than a systemic risk, but a systemic failure. Let's get details from Adebola Brooklyn Sunday.
From UNCTAD show that 52 countries, almost 40% of the developing world, are in serious debt trouble as a result of the inequality built into outdated global financial system, which reflects the colonial power dynamics of the era when it was created. The UN scribe Antonio Guterres said the system has not fulfilled its mandate as a safety net to help countries manage today's cascade of unforeseen shocks, the pandemic, devastating impact of climate crisis, and the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Markets, they seem not to be suffering, yet people are. And some of the poorest countries in the world are being forced into a choice between servicing their debt or serving their people. They have virtually no fiscal space for essential investments in the Sustainable Development Goals or the transition to renewable energy. Levels of public debt are staggering and surging.
Secretary General of the UN Conference on Trade and Development, speaking via a video link, told reporters that the magnitude and speed at which public debt has grown is unimaginable.
Africa is paying 11.6% average on their debt, while the US is 3.1 and Germany is 1.5. So you can imagine that this burden is impossible to sustain for these developing countries.
The global body emphasized that closing revenue gaps, improving spending, effectiveness, and better management of public debts remain key to reducing distress. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Moving on, despite research showing that 28 states are accessible by water, Nigeria is yet to fully harness the prospect it presents as an alternative means of transportation. And Michael Olaleye reports that the inhibiting factors which revolve around safety and security, key players say can be addressed with investment in infrastructure. The reports.
Although the fear of traffic in Lagos is the beginning of wisdom, but for residents of Ikorodu, a coastal community, there seems to be preference for the time-consuming buses ahead of the waterways, which would take just 25 minutes to get to the same destination. Olumuyiwa Ogunsomi, a legal practitioner, said the disposition paints a picture of lack of confidence in water transportation.
People are afraid of their life. You can hardly see 1 year rolling by that you will not hear the incident of these small boats capsize, so many people die.
The challenges are enormous, but basically revolve around instilling standard in practice and operations.
And we ensure that people that are boarding the boat are always on their life jackets. That if anything happens, you will remain afloat before rescue team will come for rescue.
Although concerned agencies are prioritizing reconstruction of jetties, procurement of new boats, and distribution of safety jackets, but key players said in order to keep floating above the water tide, there is need for more investments.
We have opened contacts with agencies and companies that are interested in working with us on the PPP arrangement of this JT's concession so that they can put more money in developing them. We're even talking with some groups that are bringing vessels so that we can open up strongly that sector.
When it's in the hand of individuals, nobody cares. Theirs is to make their money and move away. But when government go into it, they could enforce the safety of it and let people know that we guarantee it's our work, we are doing it.
The consensus is that once these challenges are sorted, Nigeria will be able to amass the transportation benefits inherent in its 10,000-kilometer waterways, which stretches from Badagry in the west to Calabar in the south. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NT News.
And on the entertainment scene, popular Nigerian singer Bella Shmurda and others were reportedly injured at a disrupted Pokoli's concert in Lagos. Details of this and other stories with Mika Mekpe on Entertainment Tidbits.
Suspected courts reportedly disrupted the homecoming concert of Lagos State University alumnus popular dancer Pascal Odinaka, aka Pokoli, held at the university campus on Thursday. The hoodlums were said to have stormed the venue of the event midday into the concert. Pictures and videos from the event shared on social media shows that many sustained injury from the attack. Popular singer and LASU alumnus Bella Shmurda was said to be one of the victims. The host Pokoli was seen lamenting about the incident in another video. In the video, it could be heard saying, "What's going on? How they won't come back next time." Moving on, veteran Nigerian producer and singer Michael Collins, aka Don Jazzy, has revealed that legendary musician Daddy Showkey was his role model while growing up in Ajegunle, Lagos. He said he was inspired by Daddy Showkey and Baba Frayo to do music. Don Jazzy said he started his musical career in the church as an instrumentalist because he could not afford studio session then. Don Jazzy also revealed why he didn't sign Afrobeat poster boys Wizkid and Davido to his now defunct record label Mohit. The Marvin Head Oncho said he couldn't sign Wizkid to the label because MA boss Banky W got to the Starboy before him. He said he had the opportunity of signing Davido but didn't because he figured out that he would succeed without a record label support. Meanwhile, Nigerian singer-songwriter Eniola Akimbo, popularly known as Niyola, says she stumbled into music profession by accident. She said the pain of losing the three most important persons in her life, her mom, dad, and a very close friend, made her started singing. She said she never wanted to be a celebrity. And on the foreign scene, Mama June Shannon shared how the family is processing the news of Anna Chikade cardiac terminal cancer diagnosis and discussed a daughter option after finishing cancer diagnosis Mama June Shannon is during a difficult time. The Here Comes Honorable Star share an update after the oldest Anna Chikade cardiac was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year. Back in March, family sources told TMZ that Anna has been battling stage 4 adrenal carcinoma, which affects the adrenal gland. And that is it on Entertainment News. I am Mekpe Mika.
And up next, Olumide Eguntola now brings us stories trending in the world of sports.
Reports from the Australian camp of the Super Falcons indicate that the spirit in camp is high. The players are in good shape after intense and motivated training sessions. The team's target is on good football sense and clinical finishes in front of goal, with a scheduled test match slated for Saturday. In another development, reactions continue to trail the draws for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers that pitch Super Eagles Group C alongside South Africa, Zimbabwe, Benin, Rwanda, and Lesotho.
The South Africans and the Benin Republic national team will be the two teams that
Rwanda and Lesotho.
The South Africans and the Benin Republic national team will be the two teams that is going to give us a good draw for our money.
It's not just the footballers, the players that play the game. They have to play as a team. We have the talent, no doubt about that, but we must build a team to come out.
In athletics, after superlative performances at the various national championships, Nigeria's Tobi Amusan will face other top national champions at the Silesia Diamond League on Sunday. The 100 meters hurdles world champion blazed to her third consecutive national title in 12.70 seconds after having busy schedules in international diamond leagues. In Scrabble, the second batch of Team Nigeria's contingent departed Friday to the World Scrabble Championship in Las Vegas, United States of America. Ahead of the championship scheduled to hold between 22nd and 26th of July, 13 players left in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. In another news, ahead of the Lagos International Badminton Classics, the Badminton Federation of Nigeria brought together stakeholders to chart the way forward for the development of the game in Nigeria.
I'm hoping that as the train is moving, we have more corporate bodies joining us to also make it even bigger than what we are achieving.
Tagged Shuttle Symphony. The event provided a platform for tagged Shuttle Symphony. The event provided a platform for sports-loving organizations to give the opportunities in partnering with the Federation for the forthcoming Lagos International Badminton Classics. With sports updates, Hulunde Gutola, NTA News.
11 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. Thanks for watching. I am Sami Egbe. Good evening.
You want the best in music for